The first step after installing the script is to log in as the administrator. You can then update your profile to change your password and your email address. I'll skip that in this tutorial and just take you through the menu items. Starting from the left, we have Manage Portals. This page allows you to create your own portals, and the second page, Manage Destinations, is for your own destinations. These remaining links in gold are for the administrator only, and they allow you to create your members and browse all the portals and all the destinations in the system. Because the administrator has these extra privileges, it's usually quite wise to create a second account for yourself, which will just be a normal user account. That can be done by going to the Manage Members page and clicking on the Add a Member button. The username is also used in the generated portal URLs, so it may be an idea to choose a keyword for the username. These user levels allow a convenient way of setting the limits in place for a user. And these values are configured via the configuration file. For example, a user level of 1 would be allowed to create 50 portals with up to 100 destinations per portal and no traffic diversion interval. I'm going to use the custom user level in this tutorial, which means I have to fill out these extra fields. I will give this member 5 portals, up to 10 destinations per portal, and every 11th hit will be diverted to diversion.com. If you're unsure of what something is in the script, you can click on those little question marks and a little pop-up should appear. Okay, I'm going to log out and log back in as that new member. The first thing you'll notice is that the administrator links have disappeared, and their account page has a brief summary of the limits in place for this user. Let me just change this color scheme. That's a bit nicer. Now, the first step to creating a portal is to click on the Create a Portal button, and on these forms you'll see that some fields are bold. That is because these fields are required, and the fields that aren't bold are optional. I'm going to rotate a couple of search engines, so I'll just call this portal Search. And I'm going to use the default URL, which is optional, but you'll see what this does shortly. Now you'll see that the script has generated a portal URL, and it contains cool and search, which is cool being the username and search being the portal's name. This portal URL is the URL that you will link to and advertise. Now, before you can use the portal, you have to add some destinations to it. So making sure that search is selected as a portal name, I'll go ahead and add the first couple of engines. And I will leave the rest of the fields with their defaults. And I'm going to go ahead and add another engine now, which will be Google. And I'm going to give this a higher weight value. And so this engine will be used 3 times as often as the others. And you can see all the destinations displayed there and the weight values. MSN and Yahoo both have a weight of 1, which is the default value. Let's see what happens when we visit that portal URL. We visit it again, MSN, and once more we get taken to Google. So we can see that the portal has received 3 hits, and they have all been evenly distributed. Let's visit the portal again. And we see that Google is being used. That's because it has a higher weight value. And we can see that if we repeatedly visit the portal, it will distribute the hits accordingly to the weight values. And the portal has received 10 hits in total. Now remember, when I created this user, I mentioned something about a diversion interval. Every 1 in 11 hits will be diverted. Let's see what happens when we visit that portal for the 11th hit. The diversion URL is used. And it's also important to note that that diversion hit is not counted towards the portal's traffic. And if we visit the portal again, normal rotation reoccurs. I'm just going to show you what that default URL means. So I'll just start disabling all the destinations. I'll set MSN's start period to sometime in the very distant future, which means it won't be used until that time has passed. And I'm going to set Google's maximum hit count to 9. So it should be able to receive 10 more hits. Let's just visit the portal. First hit and the second hit. Now we can see Google has been disabled also. Yahoo was explicitly disabled. Google's been disabled because it's received 9 hits, and MSN, its active period has not started yet. Okay, we can see that all the destinations aren't usable. So what will happen if we visit the portal? Well, that's where the search.com default URL comes into play. If we visit the portal, we'll see that that is the URL that's rotated to, and that will reoccur no matter how many times you visit the portal while the destinations are all unavailable, except for the 21st hit, which will be diverted. Actually, that would be the 22nd hit, and then after that the normal rotation occurs again, back to the default URL. Now let's take you through some of the other features in the script. The best way to learn the script is just to play around with it. I think that covers pretty much everything that I wanted to show in this tutorial. So that concludes this tutorial, and thanks for watching.